How to Grow Giant Ginger in 5-Gallon Buckets, Complete Guide. 8 pounds, that's what one 5-gallon bucket produced last season. Not in a tropical climate, not in a greenhouse, on my patio, in a plastic bucket. Started with a $3 piece of grocery store ginger. Harvested 8 pounds of massive, knobby ginger rhizomes 9 months later. This isn't some lucky accident. This is the exact bucket system producing giant ginger right now. Restaurant-quality rhizomes, intense flavor, growing in the simplest setup possible. If you want to grow your own organic ginger but thought it was too difficult or required special conditions, subscribe to Plant Space Collective. Every week I show you how to grow premium crops in containers with simple, proven methods. Hey there fellow gardeners, welcome back to Plant Space Collective. Today I'm walking you through complete ginger growing in 5-gallon buckets from start to finish. Every step, every detail, no guessing. Let's grow giant ginger. Step 1, CHOOSING the right bucket, $3 to $5. First step, the bucket determines everything about root development and final harvest size. Here what works. Standard 5-gallon buckets are perfect. Hardware stores sell food-grade 5-gallon buckets for $3 to $5. These are ideal ginger containers. Why 5 gallons works? Ginger grows horizontally, spreading rhizomes outward. 5-gallon buckets provide 14 inches of diameter. That's enough width for rhizomes to expand without hitting walls too quickly. The depth matters less. Ginger is shallow-rooted. Most rhizomes form in the top 8 to 10 inches of soil. 5-gallon bucket depth of 12 inches is more than enough. Food grade versus non-food grade. Food grade buckets cost slightly more, but they're worth it. Non-food grade buckets may have held chemicals or toxic materials that leach into soil. Since you're growing food you'll eat, spend the extra dollar for food grade. Look for buckets marked with recycling symbol 2HDPE or symbol 5PP. Both are food-safe plastics. Color matters for temperature. White or light-colored buckets reflect sunlight and stay cooler. Black buckets absorb heat. Ginger prefers warm soil but not hot soil. In warm climates, use white buckets. In cool climates, black buckets provide beneficial warmth. I use white buckets on my hot patio. Roots stay at optimal temperature even in summer. What doesn't work? Buckets smaller than 5 gallons restrict rhizome spread. Yields drop significantly. 3-gallon buckets produce half the ginger of 5-gallon buckets. Buckets larger than 5 gallons work, but they're heavy when filled and harder to move. 5 gallons is the sweet spot for yield versus portability. 1 bucket per ginger piece. Don't plant multiple ginger pieces in one bucket. Overcrowding reduces individual rhizome size. 1 piece per bucket produces the biggest harvest. My recommendation, buy 3 5-gallon food-grade white buckets, $3 each. Grow 3 ginger plants, harvest 20 to 30 pounds total. Cost breakdown, 1 5-gallon food-grade bucket, $3 to $5. Step 2, PREPARING BUCKETS 4 ginger, $0. Second step, setting up buckets for optimal drainage and growth. This takes 10 minutes per bucket. Drainage holes are critical. Ginger hates waterlogged soil. Rhizomes rot within days in standing water. Using a drill with a 1/2-inch bit, drill 8 to 12 drainage holes in the bottom of the bucket. Space them evenly across the entire bottom surface. Don't cluster holes in the center, spread them out. This ensures water drains from the entire bottom, not just the middle. If you don't have a drill, use a hammer and large nail. Punch holes the same way, more work but it functions identically. Side drainage holes optional but helpful. Drill 4 additional holes around the sides of the bucket about 2 inches up from the bottom. These side holes provide extra drainage and allow air to reach lower soil layers. Better aeration means healthier roots and bigger rhizomes. I drill side holes in all my ginger buckets. The difference in root health is visible at harvest. Clean buckets before use. If buckets held anything previously, wash them thoroughly with soap and water. Rinse multiple times until no residue remains. Even new buckets can have manufacturing residue. A quick wash eliminates any potential contamination. Elevate buckets off the ground. Place buckets on bricks, pot feet, or wooden blocks. Elevating 2 to 3 inches allows water to drain freely and air to circulate underneath. Buckets sitting directly on concrete or dirt can't drain properly. Elevation solves this. My buckets sit on recycled bricks, free and functional. Cost breakdown: drilling drainage holes, $0, just time and a drill or hammer. Step 3: the perfect ginger soil mix, $5 to $12. Third step: creating loose, rich soil that produces massive rhizomes. Ginger needs specific soil characteristics. Heavy or compacted soil produces small, deformed rhizomes. The right mix produces giants. The ideal mix ratios: 40% high-quality potting soil, 30% compost or aged manure, 30% drainage amendment like perlite, coconut coir, or coarse sand. This creates loose texture that rhizomes easily expand through. The compost provides sustained nutrition for the long growing season. The drainage amendment prevents waterlogging. Why these ratios work: potting soil provides structure and base nutrients. Compost adds slow-release organic nutrition ginger needs for 9 months of growth. The drainage material keeps soil airy and prevents rot. I've tested different ratios. This 40-30-30 mix consistently produces the biggest ginger. Budget version: using free materials. Substitute free municipal compost for purchased compost. Use free leaf mold or spent mushroom substrate instead of potting soil. Buy only the perlite or coir. Total cost drops to $3 to $5 per bucket using free materials. How much soil per bucket? One 5-gallon bucket needs approximately 4 gallons of soil mix. You don't fill buckets completely. Leave 2 inches of space at the top. 4 gallons of mixed soil per bucket. For 3 buckets, prepare 12 gallons total. Mix soil thoroughly before filling buckets. Dump all components into a large container or onto a tarp. Mix completely until everything is evenly distributed. Poor mixing creates pockets of different textures. Rhizomes grow unevenly in poorly mixed soil. I mix in a wheelbarrow. 3 minutes of mixing creates perfect consistency. pH considerations: ginger prefers slightly acidic soil. pH 6 to 6.5 is ideal. Most potting soil and compost combinations naturally fall in this range. Test if you want certainty. Adjust with sulfur to lower pH or lime to raise it. I've never adjusted pH specifically for ginger. Standard mixes work fine. Cost breakdown: purchase potting soil, compost, and perlite. $10 to $15 for 3 buckets. Free sourced materials plus purchased perlite. $5 to $8 for 3 buckets. Quick pause: if this is already more detailed than anything you've seen on growing ginger, hit like so more people discover this method. Step 4: SELECTING and PREPARING ginger rhizomes, $3 to $10. Fourth step: getting planting ginger and preparing it for explosive growth. This determines variety, growth speed, and final harvest quality. Where to source ginger? Grocery stores sell fresh ginger root year-round. This is edible ginger rhizome that's also plantable. One large piece costs $2 to $4. One piece plants 1 bucket. Alternatively, garden centers and online suppliers sell certified ginger rhizomes in spring. These cost more, $5 to $10 per piece, but they're guaranteed disease-free and selected for high yields. Grocery store ginger works. I've grown grocery store ginger successfully for 3 seasons. Success rate is about 80%. Some grocery ginger is treated with growth inhibitors to prevent sprouting on the shelf. These won't grow, you won't know until you try. But most grocery ginger grows. For budget growers, start here. If it fails, you lost $3. If it succeeds, you harvest 8 pounds. Choosing the best rhizome: look for firm, plump rhizomes with visible growth buds. Buds appear as small bumps or tiny green shoots on the rhizome surface. Avoid shriveled, soft, or moldy rhizomes. These are old and won't grow well. Pick the largest rhizome available. Bigger starting pieces produce bigger harvests. To cut or not to cut: you can plant whole rhizomes or cut them into sections. Each section needs at least 2 growth buds. Cutting multiplies your planting stock. One large rhizome might divide into 3 plantable pieces. But I plant whole rhizomes. Uncut pieces grow faster and produce heavier yields in my experience. Pre-sprouting for faster growth, optional but highly recommended. Place rhizomes in a shallow tray with 1 inch of moist potting soil. Keep in a warm, bright location. 65 to 75 degrees is ideal. A sunny windowsill works perfectly. Within 2 to 3 weeks, green shoots emerge from the buds. Once shoots are 1 to 2 inches tall, the rhizome is ready to plant. Pre-sprouted ginger establishes faster and grows more vigorously than non-sprouted pieces. I pre-sprout all my ginger. The 2-week wait is worth the growth advantage. Planting timing matters. Ginger needs warm soil and a long growing season. Plant in spring after all frost danger passes and soil temperatures reach 60 degrees. In most climates, this means April through June depending on location. Ginger takes 8 to 10 months to mature. Planting in spring gives it the full growing season before fall. Cost breakdown: grocery store ginger rhizome, $2 to $4 per piece. Certified ginger rhizomes, $5 to $10 per piece. Step 5. Planting ginger in Busicats Week 1. Fifth step: actually planting your prepared ginger rhizome. Depth and orientation determine how quickly shoots emerge and how large rhizomes grow. Fill buckets 3/4 full. Add your prepared soil mix until the bucket is about 3/4 full. This leaves several inches of space at the top. You'll add more soil later as the plant grows. Starting lower allows you to hill up around emerging shoots. Planting depth and position: place the ginger rhizome on the soil surface with growth buds pointing upward. Buds should face the sky. If your rhizome has shoots already from pre-sprouting, position shoots upward. Cover the rhizome with 2 to 3 inches of soil. Pat down gently but don't compact. Buds will push through 2 to 3 inches of soil easily. Deeper planting delays emergence. Shallower planting risks rhizome exposure as it grows. Watering after planting: water thoroughly until water drains from bottom holes. The soil should be evenly moist throughout. Then don't water again until shoots emerge. Ginger rhizomes sitting in wet soil without active growth will rot. Once shoots appear, resume regular watering, but initially 1 deep watering at planting is enough. What happens next? In warm conditions, shoots emerge in 2 to 4 weeks. In cooler conditions, it might take 4 to 6 weeks. Be patient. Nothing visible happens underground for weeks, then suddenly green shoots appear. If 8 weeks pass with no emergence, dig carefully to check the rhizome. If it's mushy and rotten, it failed. If it's still firm, give it more time. Positioning buckets: ginger needs partial shade. 4 to 6 hours of morning sun with afternoon shade is ideal. Full sun all day stresses ginger, leaves scorch and growth slows. Too much shade reduces yields. I position buckets on the east side of my house. Morning sun, afternoon shade from the building, perfect conditions. Cost breakdown: planting costs nothing, just the rhizome you already purchased. Step 6. Watering and feeding through the season, weeks 1 to 36. Sixth step: maintaining consistent moisture and nutrition for 9 months of growth. Get this right and rhizomes explode in size. Get it wrong and yields drop 50%. Watering frequency: once shoots emerge, keep soil consistently moist but never soggy. The top inch of soil should dry slightly between waterings. In hot weather, this means watering every 2 to 3 days. Check by sticking your finger into the soil. If the top inch is dry, water. If it's moist, wait. Ginger has high water needs during active growth. Drought stress reduces rhizome size significantly. How much water? Water until it drains from the bottom holes. This ensures the entire root zone is moistened, not just the surface. Shallow watering encourages shallow roots. Deep watering promotes deep, extensive root systems that support bigger rhizomes. Humidity matters. Ginger evolved in tropical environments with high humidity. Dry air stresses it. If you're in an arid climate, mist foliage daily with a spray bottle. This increases local humidity around leaves. Or group multiple ginger buckets together. Plants create a microclimate with higher humidity. In humid climates, no additional humidity is needed. Feeding schedule for giant growth. Ginger is a heavy feeder. It grows for 9 months and produces pounds of rhizomes. It needs consistent nutrition. Month 1 to 2 after shoots emerge. Apply diluted liquid fertilizer every 2 weeks. Use half the recommended strength. Fish emulsion or balanced organic liquid fertilizer works well. Month 3 to 7, increase feeding to weekly, full-strength fertilizer. This is peak growth period when rhizomes are actively expanding. Month 8 to 9, stop all feeding. The plant is entering dormancy. Excess nitrogen at this stage reduces storage quality. Type of fertilizer. Balanced organic fertilizer works best, 5-5-5 or 10-10-10 NPK ratios. Avoid high nitrogen fertilizers. Too much nitrogen produces huge leafy tops but small rhizomes. I use fish emulsion during early growth and switch to balanced granular organic fertilizer during peak growth. Both methods work excellently. Signs of problems. Yellow leaves indicate overwatering or nitrogen deficiency. Adjust watering frequency and increase feeding. Brown leaf tips indicate underwatering or low humidity. Water more frequently and missed foliage. Stunted growth indicates nutrient deficiency. Increase feeding frequency. Timeline: weeks 1 to 8 minimal watering until shoots emerge. Weeks 8 to 32 consistent watering and heavy feeding. Weeks 32 to 36 reduce watering, stop feeding. Cost breakdown: fertilizer for 1 season, $5 to $8 for 3 buckets. Step 7, rhizomes harvest time, weeks 32 to 40. 7th step, knowing exactly when ginger is ready to harvest for maximum size and flavor. Harvest too early and rhizomes are small and underdeveloped. Too late and quality declines. Watch the foliage. Ginger is ready when foliage turns yellow and begins dying back naturally. This happens 8 to 10 months after planting. The leaves yellow from the bottom up. Eventually the entire plant looks dead. This signals that rhizomes have stopped growing and are entering dormancy. Don't panic when you see yellowing, it's normal and expected. Stop watering when yellowing starts. Once foliage begins yellowing, stop all watering. Let the soil dry out completely over 2 to 3 weeks. Dry soil signals the rhizomes to cure and develop thicker skin. This improves storage life. Rhizomes harvested from wet soil have thin skin and rot quickly in storage. The patient harvest: after foliage is completely dead and soil has been dry for 2 weeks, ginger is ready. You can harvest earlier for young ginger if you want mild flavor and tender texture. Young ginger is harvested 6 months after planting while foliage is still green. But for maximum size and intense flavor, wait the full 8 to 10 months until foliage dies. Harvesting technique: dump the entire bucket onto a tarp or directly into a wheelbarrow. Rhizomes are throughout the entire soil mass. Sift through soil carefully with your hands. Ginger rhizomes are fragile. Rough handling causes bruises that rot in storage. Don't use tools, fingers only. You'll find the main rhizome mass plus smaller rhizomes that branched off. Collect everything. What to expect from one bucket? A well-grown ginger plant in a 5-gallon bucket produces 5 to 10 pounds of rhizomes. My average is about 7 to 8 pounds per bucket. My best bucket ever produced 11 pounds. Compare this to the $3 rhizome you planted. Return on investment is massive. Save rhizomes for replanting. The best pieces from your harvest become next season's planting stock. Select firm, healthy rhizomes with visible buds. I haven't bought planting ginger in 2 years. I replant my own harvest every season. Cost breakdown: harvest costs nothing. Step 8, curing and storing ginger post-harvest. 8th and final step, properly curing and storing ginger so it lasts months without refrigeration. Initial cure: after harvesting, brush off excess soil. Don't wash. Washing removes the protective skin layer. Spread rhizomes in a single layer in a warm, dry, shaded location with good air circulation. 70 to 80 degrees is ideal. Leave them for 7 to 10 days. Skins thicken and any minor damage heals. This cure is critical for long storage life. Sorting after curing: Divide your harvest into 3 groups. Perfect rhizomes with no damage go into long-term storage. Slightly damaged rhizomes with small cuts go into the kitchen for immediate use within 2 weeks. Heavily damaged or soft rhizomes get composted. Don't store these, they'll rot and contaminate good ginger nearby. Long-term storage. Store cured ginger in a cool, dry, dark location. 55 to 65 degrees is ideal. A pantry, basement, or cool closet works. Place rhizomes in paper bags or cardboard boxes with ventilation holes. Never plastic bags. Ginger needs air circulation. Check stored ginger monthly. Remove any pieces showing rot immediately. How long it lasts? Properly cured ginger stores for 3 to 6 months at room temperature without refrigeration. For longer storage, refrigerate in a paper bag. It lasts up to 1 year refrigerated. Using your ginger, homegrown ginger has dramatically more flavor than grocery store ginger. The difference is shocking. Use it fresh in stir-fries, curries, teas, baking, and juicing. The intense flavor and aroma are incomparable. Saving seed ginger, set aside the best rhizomes for replanting next spring. Store them exactly like eating ginger. In late winter, about 8 weeks before your planting date, bring seed ginger into a warm location to initiate sprouting. Cost breakdown. Storage costs nothing. Total cost and return. Let's add up the complete cost for growing giant ginger in 5-gallon buckets. 1 5-gallon bucket, $3 to $5. Soil mix, $5 to $12 depending on free versus purchased ingredients. Ginger rhizome, $2 to $4 for grocery store or $5 to $10 for certified. Fertilizer, $2 to $3. Total cost per bucket, $12 to $34 depending on choices. Harvest per bucket, 5 to 10 pounds of fresh ginger. Current grocery store price for organic ginger, $8 to $12 per pound. 5 to 10 pounds equals $40 to $120 worth of ginger. Return on investment, spend $12 to $34, harvest $40 to $120 worth of premium organic ginger. Plus the bucket is reusable for 5+ years, soil can be refreshed and reused, seed ginger for next season comes from this harvest for free. The system gets cheaper every season while producing the same or better yields. 8 pounds of giant ginger from 1 5-gallon bucket, grown on a patio without special conditions. The complete system costs under $35 maximum to start, produces restaurant-quality ginger that costs 10 times more at stores, provides seed ginger for next season at zero additional cost. Every step is straightforward. Choose a bucket with drainage, fill with loose, rich soil, plant 1 whole rhizome per bucket, water consistently and feed heavily during growth, harvest when foliage dies, cure and store properly. That's the entire process, nothing complicated, nothing requiring tropical conditions, just consistent care producing premium ginger. If this showed you that growing your own giant ginger is completely achievable, smash that like button and subscribe to Plant Space Collective for more container growing systems that produce real results. Comment below, tell me if you're growing ginger in buckets this season. I read every comment. Now get out there, grab a bucket and some ginger and start growing. 8 months from now you'll be harvesting pounds of the best ginger you've ever tasted. Happy gardening and I'll see you in the next video.